So hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you both. Maybe you could just kick off with a brief intro to the beta test. For people who don't know anything about the film, how on earth do you sort of summarise this?
Christ. How do you start? It's a film. It is a erotic thriller comedy about the talent agency world and a man who gets a mysterious envelope inviting him to a no-strings-attached sexual encounter in a hotel room like this one. And he goes, and it's wonderful, and then he never gets another letter, and it drives him crazy. And so it's a comedy with teeth, I guess is probably how to best describe it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That was pretty
good?
good. That was good, yeah.
First time describing our movie. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. We've been working on something for 3 years.
It's about 15 genres in one. Yeah,
it's a lot of movies in this one movie.
Yeah, so take your pick.
Hard to explain.
Yeah, this weird LA noir comedy thriller.
That's right. It's a bit like Chinatown as well. Sorry, I left that out.
Yeah.
So you're writing, you're directing, you're starring. That's already pretty complicated, but yeah, you're covering lots of different genres, and there's different themes coming out in there. So, where on earth did you get the idea for this film, and why did you want to tell the story?
So I called PJ once and I asked him what would he do if he got a letter in the mail inviting him to a sexual encounter. We're both in long-term relationships. He's married. I'm engaged, and he said, I wouldn't go. That'd be insane.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Why would you?
I'd get murdered. Of course I would not do that. Somebody was trying to kill me. My wife's trying to kill me. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, what if you were I was like, I wouldn't either. But what if you were somebody that did and would do that? And then it just became about lying and cheating. And then we thought, well, if you're going to make a movie about lying and cheating, it should take place at a talent agency. Because it's funny, as the biggest liars and cheaters in the world. And then it kind of spun into this weird story about how you would actually do that, how you would collect data on people and pair them up who might like each other. And it became this bigger movie, but it was long-form conversations between the two of us for a year before we ever put pen to paper to make it a script.
Yeah, just a lot of long conversations about like how you would actually do the service that is provided in the film, and this kind of big, just kind of the idea of what if you could harvest all of somebody's data in order to pair them with their actual soulmate, someone who actually would be perfect for them, and that kind of data analysis was interesting, and then kind of spun a big crazy narrative out of it. And,
Yeah. I say it happened over a long period of time and then all at once. It was like we like had this idea and conversations for about a year, and then we were just like, let's just start writing it. And so it became a script.
I feel like originally we were trying to just write a simple horror film, and then we can't help ourselves, and we just overcomplicate everything, and our producers get very mad.
I remember telling Ben, our producer, Ben Wiesner, that we were going to make a movie that we could shoot in our apartment buildings, and he was like, that sounds great. That's not going to happen. And it's also, this is not the script.
Then we sent him the script, and he was like, this is so many locations, like this is insane.
100 speaking parts, like way too big of a movie. But we did it, and it turned out good.
Yeah.
And talk to me a bit about the mechanics of how all that works. Because if you've done the writing process together, but then you're having to direct and star, but it also looks like it was probably a lot of fun. So
it's off. I mean, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of prep. And then we have this great infrastructure at this company, Vanishing Angle. I have 3 producers who've made all of my features. This is the first time PJ was directing for Vanishing Angle. And so really we're very well taken care of on set in a weird way. And we just get to pretend to be like Jackie Chan or something, where we go in and like write and act and direct, and then the whole movie's about us a bit. It's like this long-form conversation between the two of us. And so that part was really easy, but the endeavor of making something in a 17-day period with your best friend it sounds like it's a lot of fun, but it's just a sprint of like, that's no time at all to make the movie. So we're lucky to get the shots that we got in the film.
Yeah, you don't really have time on set to kind of take it all in because you're just so desperate to just staring and making sure you're getting all the shots you need. But yeah, it was nice. I mean, to be able, with both of us acting, I mean, to be able to kind of check in on each other, make sure we're doing a good job getting everything we need. So yeah,
that was
nice.
Great. That was the first time like I'm in more scenes than PJ is. I'm the main character in the film, and that was really lovely to have him focused entirely on the directing of the movie for the moments where I'm on camera. I've never had that before, and that was really, really wonderful. So it was like we never argued on set. It was constantly just trying to get the thing right in the moment because we had no time at all. It was fun.
And there's a lot of tonal shifts kind of that go on throughout the film, because it's going from this thriller to satire, but what were some of the favourite scenes and maybe some of the harder scenes to film? I mean, there's a lot of humour, there's a lot of comic timing, but dark humour.
Yeah.
My favourite, the hardest thing was the mea culpa, the scene in the parking lot where I'm shouting. I'm always shouting in parking lots of fucking movies.
Yeah.
But I had 4 suits, and I think I burned all of them that day. It was like just crawling through motor oil and like doing all this like awful big performance stuff. And the producers were like, "Oh, in Jim's other movies where he screams in a parking lot, we were able to get through those in 2 hours. It'll be fine." And then PJ was like, "No, we're gonna need a whole day.
Yeah.
Like, it is gonna be intense. It's gonna be this big.
I want to do this a lot.
It's gonna be like a western of like the
Right.
standoff between these two people. It's got to be good." And so we shot it for 8 hours. So it's like I lost my voice. I'm gonna drink like lemon tea and chamomile. That was the most intense. But that's the fun stuff. That's like I get to beat myself up on camera. It's a lot of fun.
Right. I feel like the very first shot that we did was the 360 shot in the bar, and
5 in the morning.
which was the most complicated shot in the whole movie, and it was the first thing we ever shot at 5 in the morning. And I don't know. That was the first scene we did was all of my big dialogue, so I was super nervous. Didn't sleep at all the night before. And that was the first thing we had to shoot in a bar at 5 a.m. With this big ridiculous
Pretending
spinning
to drink
rig.
vodka sodas. My favorite scene in the film is, it's amazing to watch with the crowd, is the scene when Jacqueline comes into my office, my assistant, and it's a bit flirty in the beginning. She like, takes the Jolly Ranchers, and it's kind of this cute thing, and the audience is thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a Weinstein kind of thing." And then she sits down, and then she says, "You're in a good mood. Did your wife sit on your face this morning?" And it's so graphic what she says, and immediately the power dynamic shifts of like, she's going through my mail. She knows what I'm up to, and it's so fun to watch it with a crowd because it's the best punchline in the movie, and the audience realizes that the assistants are now getting power over the bosses, and it's this wonderful populist laugh that you get to experience with a crowd. It's my favorite scene in the movie.
And, to pick up on some of the themes, in particular this, the post-Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, and, that fear maybe that's amongst a certain sector of society of, losing power. Are these people and recognize, and how much do you think this is going to hit a nerve with some people when they watch it in a way?
I think what Hollywood, and particularly the powers that be in Hollywood, have this wonderful defense mechanism that is, when they see someone, when they're made fun of, they go, "Oh, I know someone just like that." It's never, "Oh,
It's
this
never
is
them.
me."
Yeah, it's like
I work with someone down the hall who's just like, yeah, it's really good. And then with the South Park of it all, like if you make fun of someone very publicly, they have to say, "Great joke, I loved it." They can't say, "Fuck you, I'm going to sue you," So like, because it's a comedy out and out, I think we'll get away with it.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, well,
I say that
we'll have
now.
to see.
Yeah, the movie hasn't come out yet. Yeah. So
they might not let us back in the country, but we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll let you know. Yeah, I guess it's too soon to tell.
Yeah.
And then the aspect about big data. I mean, the scene in the bar when you're kind of like putting it down, like very clearly, like, they got us all hooked on these, social media networks, and then like now they're just mining our data for their own purposes. So, there's a lot of truth in that as well. So it's kind of through the comedy, you're cutting to the heart of things.
Yeah, it becomes the Social Network for about 5 minutes.
That's the Social Network part of our...
Aaron Sorkin actually wrote that sequence. No,
we put every David Fincher movie into one, or tried to.
It feels like that, just ripping off David. No, the data scraping thing was just a product of the writing of like, well, how would you actually do it? How would you actually steal people's data and then connect them, and maybe they get along through this like Tinder thing, it's like an anonymous letter service.
You'd have to analyze everything they do on the internet because, like, everything you put on the internet doesn't lie. The internet doesn't lie. Analytically.
Researching, only then do we realize how easy that was. Of like, everybody's likes on Twitter are public. That's true. So like, if you go through any public figure, you can see what they're liking. And sometimes it's graphic of like a half-naked woman. And it's like, that's not, you can see the workings of these people's brains, and I shouldn't know that. No stranger should know that. And it was just this interesting thing to us that all it would take is one rogue actor to completely derail someone's life, and how scary that can be. And it's even scarier when it's a big company like Facebook.
Because they know what you like before even you do, so they know your tendencies before even you do, and that's kind of the point of beta test, is getting ahead of it and giving you a service you didn't even know you needed, and giving you a little push.
There's also the element, I think, of like of your character in particular, of like, you know, I'm kind of thinking of American Psycho somehow, and in the Fight Club. So is there also that thing of, you know, kind of people who are in middle management, you kind of living very middle class lives, just kind of bored to death and fighting to get out? You know, would you say there's some kind of like thread that links into this film?
Yeah, sure. I mean, with American Psycho, I'm realizing more and more that's probably the only other movie with like a dude in a suit acting like a lunatic.
Yeah,
and it's rare to see.
Kind of a loser idiot.
Yeah.
Even though he's looking all cool. Yeah.
Christian Bale is a much better actor than I am, obviously. But no, I think that there are some serious tendencies there, and there are like it is an industry based on sociopathy, where like these people are just money driven, are just ego and selfishness driven. So that comparison is astute. But then really, I think there is something to seeing someone go through a nervous breakdown and saying, I don't have to do this anymore, I'm lying, and I'm like doing all this stuff, especially in sales, that speaks to a larger industry that isn't just the film industry. I think there are a lot of people who go to work and feel like they're performing this facade of a person. Jean-Paul Sartre said that. He said, there's no such thing as a waiter, it's only someone impersonating a waiter. And I feel like that's true of all of us. Like, especially in sales, if you're selling something, you're lying all the time, and it can be corrosive to the human spirit. And if you do it for long enough, I think a lot of people in audiences go, oh, that might be me, I can change.
Mm.
So it's a long answer for a short question. I'm so sorry.
So yeah, what do you hope overall people will take away? Like, hopefully be entertained and for the thriller aspects. But you know, do you think it's going to hit a nerve with some people? You know,
I fucking hope so.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
bad.
yeah. I hope it gets some response.
Hopefully,
yeah, of course.
I hope we get into a little trouble. I'm sure we will. But really, for many audiences, like PJ and I are so selfish. Where it's like, I hope just people watch it and they're like, yeah, it was dope. Like that was a cool movie. That's the simplest thing, but it's true. Like,
yeah, my favorite thing so far is I think people are finding it very unique and its very own original voice and something they've never seen before. And I think that's what I'd be most proud of, is that we found maybe something new that we can kind of build on top of. And that's what I'm hoping will be the response. And I think that's what it's been so far. So
yeah, we'd be lucky.
Hope something new, a new voice that people haven't heard before, and a new type of storytelling.
I feel like I couldn't sit through another corporate meeting with load of jargon in without a straight face anymore.
Well, we're all excited.
Yeah, that stuff. Like I'm having to change I say I'm stoked. I have to change the language because we've buried it in the ground.
Yeah,
we're thrilled. We're
pumped.
So you can't say I'm excited anymore. After watching the movie, you're inoculated to that bullshit.
Right.
That's what I hope happens. I hope people treat us with less bullshit.
Yeah.
I think I'm out of time, but very quickly, do you already know what you might work on next? Have you already got scripts in the pipeline?
We're working on a Victorian horror film, which is crazy to say, but it's a comedy as well. Same kind of genre fluidity, which is what we like. So we're researching the Victorian era in America and Virginia. It's a masterpiece. It's a beautiful movie.
Again,
I think it's really
that's the one where that would be the peak one we'd like to do. It's this very big, epic Victorian horror film that's funny.
But we need a budget, and so it's the first time that we're actually having to knock on doors and be like, take us seriously, trust us, we know what we're doing.
This one's going to be wild. Let's go do it.
We don't know what we're doing. Right. But it's still very, very good. I think it would be a real masterpiece. I think so.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks so much for your time, guys. Lovely to chat to you. Thank you
very much.